Before I talk about graphene and graphene microrobots, I want to let you know that humans and scientists didn't invent this stuff. This stuff was already here, and it's similar to oil or something like that that comes from under the ground. And a lot of these different elites and things, they bought the land where this stuff was, and they're mining it out of the earth, right? And they're making it into these vaccines and this different stuff, right? But it's not something that they invented, it's something that's already been here. Black goo.
For the Falkland War, which was viral on the internet at that time, where they state that actually there were deposits on Falkland of Earth-type black goo, and there are people, military in Argentina wanted to get hold of these deposits, and the Brits wanted to have it for themselves, so they went down, made war, got some samples, destroyed the rest, which is a true story. At least I came as close to get the phone number of the British officer who was in charge of destroying the remains of this black oil deposit on Tula Island. So the story seems to be coherent. Then it continued. I don't remember getting a friend of my oldest son who grew up in the vicinity of London, of these labs where they try to turn that Earth-type black goo into swarm intelligence for weaponized nanorobots in England. And the scientists got mad over dealing with this Earth-type black goo because it didn't want to be abused, so it basically turned these scientists around or drove them crazy to the point of suicide. The worst story I remember is somebody putting a rope around his head, tying it to a tree, getting into his car, and then driving away to have his head ripped off, which was very symbolic, because if somebody is mentally dominated and can't heal in the sense of reconnecting to Mother Earth, the best idea actually is to rip off your own head as a symbolic gesture. So this is kind of the vicinity, and I got to know a friend of my oldest son who grew up in the neighborhood where they released this black goo into the sewage system, so the entire neighborhood got infected with this planetary spirit.
Graphene, not only do they want you to inject it into your body, they want you to wear it on your body. An electronic tattoo can be used for continuous blood pressure monitoring. Placed on the skin, injecting electrodes and send tiny current through the arm. Okay? This is what Bill Gates was talking about when he said this is going to replace the cell phone. You're going to have wear one of these, and then you're going to have some type of brain implant. But what they don't want you to know is most of this stuff's already grown inside of you, and you're going to already choose this stuff because you've been already assimilated to it. That's the thing. So if you don't have God, you're probably going to end up using this stuff and using this graphene to try to make yourself better than the other humans or whatever, but it's not gonna last. But they're literally spraying this stuff in the air. They said it's for cloud seeding and they're helping you to make it rain or whatever, but it's not helping you, it's only hurting you. This is poisoning the whole environment, okay? Cloud seeding with graphene oxide is totally insane and shouldn't be done. It's a crime against humanity. They want this stuff inside of everybody so they can remotely kill people, because they can use a cell phone signal to activate a biological payload from graphene oxide injected into your body, or inhaled, or you're eating it, or you're drinking it. Whatever it is, they're using it to kill you. They invented this a long time ago. Graphene microrobots, tiny self-propelled machines using graphene unique properties, strength, conductivity, large surface area for applications like water purification, absorbing heavy metals, drug delivery, and advanced sensing. They often feature multi-layered designs combining graphene oxide for pollutant capture, nickel for magnetic control, and platinum for propulsion by catalyzing fuel like hydrogen peroxide, creating bubbles for movement, and offering precise remote guidance in microenvironments. The thing about graphene oxide is it's toxic to humans and it's toxic to the planet Earth. It's literal poison, right? And the way it's made up is it replaces your atoms because it's so close to being carbon, right? It infects your carbon that you already have in your body. So it's an artificial type of carbon. And this is how they make these micro robots, is they attach them to a bacteria, and somehow that becomes a new type of life form that they drive around with magnetic and electrical fields. But they're going to use it for all kinds of stuff, and they're going to say it's good for you, but it's not. Graphene quantum dots used in biosensors, which are already being found inside the human body. You know what I'm saying? For medical applications, surveillance under your skin, biosensing, autonomous, highly sensitive, on-the-fly sensors for detecting DNA biomarkers. So they're doing surveillance on your DNA. This is very bad stuff that they're going to use these micro robots for. Don't use them. Don't ever take a graphene micro robot. Look at this. They got origami micro robots, sperm-based bots, bio-integrated, medical therapeutic, inspection to reach hard-to-reach areas, environmental detection and removal of toxins, swarm robotics, insect-like swarms.
At the Chinese University of Hong Kong and Huacheng University of Science and Technology have developed novel magnetic responsive micromotors made of graphene. Researchers can easily attach other molecules to graphene, and the material has a high surface area which makes it attractive for picking up pollutants. The corkscrew shape helps micromotors move in a rotating magnetic field, but it's been challenging to make helical micromotors from graphene until now. To make the micromotors, the team developed a cheap microfluidic method. The team pumps oil through a solution of graphene oxide and magnetic iron oxide and a solution of sodium alginate. What comes out are tiny corkscrews with an oil droplet head attached to a graphene oxide-based tail, all of which are sealed inside a sodium alginate fiber. The helical motors get their signature shape through the liquid rope coil effect. This effect depends on precisely controlling the flow speed of each fluid. For instance, if the oil is injected slowly, the material comes out fairly straight, but as you increase the oil speed, you'll see the material start to form coils. The team takes the coils they made and reduces the graphene oxide to graphene, then washes away the oil and sodium alginate to isolate individual graphene micromotors.
I'm doing a lot of research into this, and this stuff keeps getting smaller and smaller every year. Now it's to the point where you can barely see it. It's smaller than the head of an ant. Autonomous micro robots with electronic brains. Alright? So they have full computer power, and they're autonomous, artificial, intelligent micro robots. Alright? And they can be programmed to do different tasks depending on what you want them to do, okay? Now, in reality, this stuff is much smaller, and when I make my video about nanotechnology, then I'm going to show you all about that. But this is just the stuff that they're telling you about, but it's much worse than this. In China and the University of Michigan, they're working together. Our universities are working together to create stuff supposedly to help us, but I don't think so. It's going to be used to hurt us. But they got micro-robotic, tiny robot swarms that can go into different shapes and vortexes. Check this out. Oh, Michigan State University, Harbin Institute Technology in China working together to create swarming microrobots that can form into multiple types of swarming shapes. Looks kind of like the stuff that's already inside of people's blood, doesn't it? And all the stuff that I've been showing you over and over for months and years. The stuff that they injected into people. Yeah, not good at all. Same stuff that's falling out of the air. And they're using the cell phone towers and stuff to control it. And all these energy weapons everywhere, and radar, and LiDAR, and LED lights. It's horrible what they're doing to us. Look at this one. They can literally attack a certain part of your body if they wanted to. Or, you know, they could kill some type of cancer tumor or do something like that. But I don't think you want to try doing this. I mean, it's not anything God created. It's something that man created. And I think it's some type of fallen angel technology. And it's not meant for humans to be using. And that's why I'm trying to warn you about it. That it's not good and you shouldn't be doing it. They can make them form almost any type of shape that they want them to form. And once they give total control over to AI, who knows what these things are going to do once they go inside of your body, for real. Look at that. They can build networks. This is crazy insanity, the way this technology is going. Look at that. Same thing that's happening in people's bloodstreams right now from the shots and the chemtrails and all the poison that's being dropped on us. But it's much smaller than this because these are just micro robots. So the stuff that's in our bodies is much smaller. But the ones I just showed you is the micro robots that they're going to put into your bloodstream. Microrobots in the blood are tiny magnetically guided machines designed to navigate blood vessels for targeted drug delivery or clot removal. You see that? Targeted. Offering a less invasive way to treat conditions like strokes, heart disease, tumors by reaching difficult areas and minimizing systematic side effects. Researchers are developing biocompatible drug-filled, which could be a vaccine, capsules and surface active swimmers that can be steered by external magnets, promising precise internal repairs, though the technology is still experimental and needs rigorous testing before human trials. Well, this rigorous testing is already happening inside of people with much smaller stuff than micro robots. They're nanobots. They're saying that this is the smallest one ever invented, but we know that's not true. World's smallest autonomous robot. It has a programmable onboard computer. They move by creating an electrical current to force the fluid around them to flow. Smaller than a grain of salt, they can reach new frontiers. An earlier model races through a microfluidic channel. One day the robot can monitor the health of individual cells. That's what they're doing. They're getting under your skin, and they're already well beyond what they're telling you.